beautiful day. I'm Niyama Shang here, and thank you so much for letting us be a part of your journey. Outliers, we are here today on Outliers. It's live where we bring together incredible, exceptional people out in the world who are choosing to lead their world differently and to bring all of who they are to the table to not just create something new, but to uplift themselves and those around them. I'm very excited today to be playing with one such outlier here today. It is Dolores Rojo Guinazú. Dolores, thank you so much for making the time for this. Thanks for bringing your experience to the table. We are going to have an incredible conversation. Welcome to the Outliers Edge platform.
Thanks so much for having me, Niyama. I'm very honored to be here, and thanks again for inviting me.
Well, the honor is mine, and all of us. I'm looking forward to an incredible conversation. And Outliers is like this conversation. We'd like to have it live as an ongoing experience. So while Dolores and I are having the conversation in real time here, you're also invited to be a part of it, and you can do that by just going to the live stream and putting in any comments or questions you have along the way, and we'll just incorporate it into our conversation. All right. So let's go ahead and play here. Dolores, I've been saying the word play a bit, and it's because I look at like who we be and the change we make out in the world as one form of a game we get to play. And so, do you mind letting us know more about you and the game you're currently playing?
Sure. Well, I love that because life is like playing, yes? I'm a translator. I live in Argentina, Southern America. And I've been working as a translator. For those of you who don't know, it's when you translate written words, yes, like documents, contracts, books, different papers. And since the pandemic, I began a new chapter of my life, let's say. My company's name is Lift Value Translations and Consulting because I believe also as Niyama, the power of lifting or our value as professionals, as human beings. And I began a podcast that for me was very challenging because I was used to the written and isolating word, let's say. So to face the music, the cameras, the people, and talk, just speak up. It was not difficult, but a challenge. And I wanted to have the challenge, move out from my comfort zone, and I loved it. So I began doing podcasts, interviewing authors that I admire from books that I have read related to communication, the power of our words, the power of the different languages, because we live in a multilingual world, and that's what makes us richer. Yes, so I'm very deep into that and to be connected globally. So that's me in a nutshell.
Well, I really appreciate like getting to know you here, Dolores, and you brought up a few different things that I want to make sure that we start to explore because it's funny to me how people like show their outlier in just that
Mhm.
introduction here, right? So one of the things that I was hearing from you is that traditionally, or like as a translator, you focused on the written word in particular, and you were that was your focus. And then it was around 2020 that you decided to like expand and bring in lift values and
Mhm.
play from that perspective. So one of the things that I'm hearing, and I think that this is something that outliers themselves like run into, which is to go from a place where you're already like the top of your craft, you're leading things in here. You're like, you're good. You've achieved mastery with the written word element, and then now you're branching into something new. You're putting yourself in front of the camera. It's now your voice. You're having the conversations in real time. Tell us about two things. One, what made you feel like now is the time that I need to make that transition? And then two, like what was the hardest part about making it for you?
Okay, well, the pandemic. Do you remember? It was a time that we were at home. Here, we spent a long time isolated, and I began to think as work changed and what else can I do? How can I expand even more my knowledge, my expertise, and what I liked the most, like being with people, interacting with others. And that relationship, that like the one we are having now, yes, it's dialogues, connection, exchanging of information, of experiences, of life, yes. And so I said, I was like a podcast fan. I've been listening to podcasts a lot. This type of podcast, yes, about leadership, how to change or improve our daily lives as a person, as a professional. And that's why don't I have, my own space? So it was like, I don't know, I let's do it. I didn't have time. Well, I have time. That's why I said, if not now, when? And sometimes you have to take the risk and do it because life is short sometimes, and um, I don't like to procrastinate or to leave it for tomorrow what you can do today. So I've been improving and working on making things better, but you have to start and then you can get better in the way. Yes. And I
Yes.
forgot the second question. Can you repeat
You
it?
know what though? I forgot it as well. I think oh, I know what it was. We might go there. The thing I was asking at the time was like what made it difficult, or like what was the hardest part about it, you know? But I'd love to get your thought on. I guess there's an element of the courage that I really want to get into. So not just like let's talk about the difficulties here, but I think about any outlier right now that's looking to expand and considered like looks to grow in their leadership, looks to continuously like yeah, uplift themselves and go to new heights. And there's a vulnerability in what I'm hearing here, Dolores. Like that's what I'm feeling here. So
Mhm.
when I see someone take action in the midst of vulnerability, I know that it requires courage. And so I'm really curious if we can speak to the courage it took to get started and maybe how it felt then versus how it's going now. Because the pandemic, is surprisingly, I guess, it was about like 6 years since like
Yes. Can
you
you
know
believe it?
yeah, I
Yeah.
someone's like, "I started doing this during the pandemic." I was like, "Oh, like last year?" And I'm like, "No. No, you're on the upper side of a decade, no, sorry, like, of half a decade. You're
Yeah.
closer to a full decade than you were at the beginning." So, yeah, do you wanna speak a little bit in terms of, like, the vulnerability, the courage, just for any outlier right now that's feeling in a similar position of something new might be asked of them?
Yes, because while you were talking, I do you realize that sometimes we are afraid of doing things, or we say or we think, well, I'm not ready. I have to, I don't know, practice more. I'm not enough. I have to, I don't know, speak better, or pronounce words, or what will I share? What can I say to the word? Because everything is said. There are so many people talking, but then he said, well, but it's not you, you are unique and you have your own message to the world, your own words, that if you don't share them, the people will not know them, will not understand a new attitude or a new frame, of seeing the word, or the same book, the same words, reading between the lines. So I think every one of us has something valuable to share, and we just need to believe in ourselves first, trust, our instincts. So if we believe we have something to offer, well, do it, of course, prepare, as you said, just don't go and improvise, but I prepare myself, just a bit, or read, have a framework, a process, and do it. And sometimes you will uh, amaze yourself, because I happen to enjoy it and I love it even more than writing,
Mm.
So I have, most of my days are more like on the speaking side than on the writing side. So it's
Dolores, I can see you lighting up. If you're just listening to this, you're not watching this on the video here. Like do yourself a favor and come watch this experience because I could see Dolores how you lit up, how you actually enjoy it quite a bit, and that's like it's like palpable. I can feel it on this end over here.
Yes. And so we are always vulnerable, but we need to be at the same time, as Brene Brown says, courageous because uh, being that vulnerable makes you strong enough to face that, perhaps, I don't know how to say that, fear, and move forward. Yes, just
Mm,
not overthink about it, but move. And movement, um, action brings movement. So when you move, something good will happen. If you
mm.
are like stuck, nothing can happen. So you have to keep on moving, and you will see. You have to trust the process. And I think I'm a firm believer on that.
You know, as you're saying this, it's getting letting me think about things. So in a bit, I'm going to come back to translation and everything here. But right now, we're in a
Mhm.
wonderful space talking about you and like the actual process, like you've gone through to keep translating yourself, right? It's like that's what I'm feeling, translating and transforming yourself into new places, right, and new ways of being. So, do you mind if we stay with this for a little bit longer?
Sure,
Okay.
sure.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's quite incredible for me. Um, one of the things that's going through my mind is like was this something that, like, you saw a whole bunch of other people who were also in your industry and field doing, or was this something that was, like, an internal call? Essentially, in my mind, I'm like, it's less about, like, the other people, like, internal call or not, but I'm wondering, I'm like, "Oh, I wonder if you did all this, like, without everyone else, like, on your own, more or less." You know, there may have been other inspirations and other things like that, but I'm wondering if this was like, "Oh, no, the whole industry moved here," because sometimes that's what happens, or if you're like, "No, actually, there was a calling in me, and I just decided to live through it." Do you mind speaking to that? Right now, you're muted, so I can't hear you just yet. If you can unmute, that'd be great.
I'm
Alright,
sorry.
we're back. We're
I
great.
pressed it without knowing. Yes, no, not at all. The industry did not move at that time. Now
Mm,
everything is moving, but due to AI, yes, because I
yeah,
think the world is being transformed.
mm,
So even more nowadays, we need to be more flexible and more open and eager to evolve,
mm,
because I believe that every career and every job in this world is being affected by this new technology that is good if we use it as a tool, and wisely, yes, with cautious and consciously as well. But I think I wanted to take that challenge, and yes, I think it's good, because if not, sometimes you get bored if you are doing the same.
mm.
And I believe I needed like something more.
Okay, this is fun to come and play, and like this element of like needing something more, going for it here, and continuing to evolve yourself around it. There's something as we keep talking, Dolores, like there's more and more where I'm like, all right, I get that you translate, but I'm actually feeling this transformative energy from you, right? And so like just so you know, like I feel that there's like the two of them. Tell us a little bit here, because yeah, I have to be honest, like just your being is coming through very, very strongly for me. You talked about lift values. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, sure. Well, my idea, some colleagues said, but that name has nothing to do with translation, with languages, lived value. Because from the very beginning, when I thought about like a name or the power of a name, I thought about like, as linguists, depending on the profession, on the job, you tend to be like more shy or more closed, and we need to lift our values, because we are a connection for the people, into other languages, into other cultures. So we need to lift ourselves and not be seen, because we are like intermediaries for others to be seen, but we are also being seen in that aid, by helping others be seen and be heard in other languages. We are also moving ourselves up, let's say, lifting ourselves. And I really believe in the power of that, and in the power of our own attitude, as the name of my podcast, Attitudable, that is also invented, because it's not just the words, but the attitude. As you said, your name is amazing Outliers Edge, but the words that you speak through your space, the people that you interview, the spaces that you share, are the ones that made a difference, because it's much more than the words. Yes, it's your attitude, your energy, your openness, and your willingness to keep on growing and transforming that makes the big difference for me.
Dolores, like as you're talking, I see this like live value, like you're a transformer, aren't you? I feel this here. Like it's like you're good at translating. I think that there's a part of this here,
I
but
hope
like
so.
what's yeah, 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 yeah. You're like there's something there where I feel like you keep stepping the game up. You keep, and even there, it's like because I was hearing like a juxtaposition of two. Do you mind that this because this is hitting me. I love like let's say this, one of the things that I'm imagining about you is that as a translator, you understand the nuances in words. You understand the nuances in phrases as well, right? There's certain things that you wouldn't want to, an idiom in that's said in American English, you wouldn't want to translate it exactly word for word into Spanish, for example, because it just like it doesn't mean anything in that one. But there's another. Is that fair?
Yes,
Yeah.
because you translate the idea, the
Yeah.
message, not word by word. Because as
Yeah.
you said, a phrase or an idiom, it has a different meaning in other languages.
Yeah, and that's why when you say like live value, like I think about that here because I get that you're master at choosing the right word for the occasion, and so that doesn't like land lightly on me, you know.
Mm.
And so I think the reason why I keep saying that you're a transformer is because I feel it. I feel like regardless of you talked about like the industry shifting with AI right now and everything like that. I'm like, cool, that might do some translations, it might start some of the work. It might be a tool that is used there. But like if people come and they work with you, they spend time with you, something about that them or their business is going to be transformed. Like that, like I'm getting that sense here, whether it's like um growing in like growing their global presence, growing their global impact, being able to translate or take the message that was working in one place in one geographic area and make it accessible or make it hit home to other people. There's something in there that I feel like AI just doesn't do. It's able to take the same and make it into more of the same. But like there's something about you and the way that you choose to like not just take the value that's there and say equal value. It's not equal value. It is lifted it. And so there's I don't know, Dolores. I'm having fun with this here, but it just feels very deliberate what you said, and I just want to make sure I'm reflecting that back to you. How does that feel for you? I might be completely off, but like I
Oh,
need to stand in this right now.
thanks so much. Yes, you nailed it. It's like that. I mean, we need to show up and raise our voices, lift our voices in other languages as well. So it's powerful. I think it's the way we connect nowadays with the help of AI. So far in 2026, we don't know what will happen next year, but so far, I think we are on that. We need to be present and fully present and be open to move forward. Yes.
Mm. Outliers. I'm going to come to you right now. I'm going to invite you right now to think about something for yourself real quick here. Like, hey, like where are you playing right now that has the room for you to lift up your thinking, for you to grow and to not just take what has been done and say how can we do more of it or do it in a different way, but really say like how can we lift the value in here? Where does this need to like where can this transform? There's something in there, Dolores, that's getting me to think about my own work, the way that I'm speaking to people, the questions that I ask when they come onto the platform. Um, there's an impact there, and that is not something I think comes along easily. So thank you for the work that you do there.
Thanks to you.
Yeah.
Thanks for inspiring all of us outliers all over the world to keep on creating and producing good content.
I think that's like when you say that there. Well, firstly, I was about to just deflect and be like, "Not me." So let me be in the practice of that.
You.
Let me in the
Take
practice of that. Yeah, let me receive that. Thank you,
over.
Dolores. Thank you very much. There's a realness to this that I feel that you said something earlier, and I actually just sat down and I wrote it down because I think that at times I forget that, like what is happening here with this. You said, for those of us that are interested in leadership, improving ourselves and improving our daily lives, there, w- there's something like when you said that, especially the word leadership. That one, like when I hear that, I sit up straighter. I know what I'm about, and yeah, it hit me deeply. The reason I say that is because the same way I'm listening to lift value and paying attention to those words, you talked about like outliers edge, like that was really intentionally chosen. Like it wasn't just about being an outlier; it was about like being on your edge. And what is that? Or like there was two parts of it: the edge of greatness, and also like the thing that gives you an edge. Right. So as we're talking, I think that that's like what's shining to me is I'm like, oh, Dolores is, yes, she's a translator, but like her edge is she's able to transform things into what it needs to be for whatever audience it needs to be. And you're able to do this across geographical like spectrums and markets. Like people like people can't do that. Like I'm sorry, AI is smart, but it's not this, you know. So I'm your edge is shining through for me in this moment. And uh, what I want to let you know is that one of the impacts of this call so far, and we're still just like in the middle of it, but one of the impacts of the call so far is that it's given me a call back to leadership. It's given me a call back to some of the deeper elements of things. And so I want to make sure before I continue here and that I make sure I express that to you and express my gratitude in your ability to stay present and help translate even this thing that I'm doing in this, the four corners of of this virtual box here, and it's changing and transforming in your presence. So I just want to make sure that I'm calling that
Sure.
out as well.
Thanks to you. And because, as you said, while at the very beginning, you said you were running like the kids, the like daily lives and everything and work and all, and you are, and you are here, you are present here, you're also present there. So you are like living your own legacy, yes, while you walk. So I think it's truly transformative for all of those, for all of the people who listen and are part of your own Outliers Edge space.
Mm, mm. Yeah, I'm having fun with this. So Dolores, let's play a little bit here. So let's say there's an outlier right now who's they've been successful. They found their way to like their own levels of unconventional success. They're probably maybe um relative to the people who knew them growing up, it's surprising to some extent, that they've created a level of success, but they're not done, right? They're still looking to keep growing here. And uh, let me see, like, let's say someone has their own platform. Actually, let's just use me. That way, it doesn't have to be hypothetical, right? You have your own platform. I have my own platform. This is on the internet, so there's globally reaching, right? But it's all still through me, right? In fact, we wrote a book. I'm like thinking about like, okay, um, one, I have to just go promote it overall, but I'm like, it's still rooted in my two things: me, the way I think, and also just like American culture. Actually, I'll say first generation American culture. Like that's where it's rooted. But I do think about how this message would be um, embraced in, let's say, another country or culture or language, because there's just different like elements that come into play. So like for anyone who's me or like me out there, like what are the best ways that like we can like lift our value or like utilize the things that you do or see to help take our message and platform to the next level of what we're looking for.
Yes, you mean like other markets, I believe, yes?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, like
other,
yeah, yeah,
for example,
let's
let's suppose, sorry.
No, go ahead. A bit of me wants to like stretch what outliers are thinking might be possible. You've seen a lot of different things, and so I love to like create a little bit of space for you to share a little bit of what might be possible for us.
For example, let's suppose you are based in the US, yes, and so you have your own outlier set on the US, yes, and your
Hmm.
audience, most of your audience is there, right?
Hmm.
Am I right?
Yes,
And you
yes.
want to perhaps open outlier edge in Asia, let's suppose,
Mm.
in another language, because do you speak other languages?
I don't. I can understand. My parents are from Ghana, West Africa, so I can understand Ghana, which is one of the languages out there. But yeah, this is
You
good.
know,
So we're going to Asia. I'm thinking like I spent 4 years in Singapore, so that's really that's real for me. Yep.
yes, or if Africa or Asia or Europe, whatever continent you would like to perhaps also open like another branch or
Mhm.
outliers there in.
Are you like in my head, Dolores? Like so here goes here goes the reality is that I like the thing that lights me up is um to be able to have local leaders lead in a way that's like aligned with the Outliers Edge mission and such, but to enable them, not even like by enable I mean like provide resources, skill sets, trainings, like and an audience that's available for them that can help them lead the people in their local areas in to whatever the next levels are. There was just something I was traveling to Sri Lanka, and I was like, as much as I think I could be like a big global leader, like I'm not going to
Yeah,
be the leader here. Someone in Sri Lanka might come and tell me like, no, you can do it. But like, this is not my place. There's someone here who it is their place. And like, how do we get that person to be able to step into into their leadership and lead that forward, whatever that happens to be for whatever country it is. Does that make sense,
yeah.
Dolores? What I'm getting at?
You can have it because you have your own processes. Yes, you have the way of, how you create and prepare all this space, your outliers edge, all your content, the content, not only the content, the words, but just the spirit, let's say, the attitude that you um, reflect upon the word, and perhaps do it, I don't know, I'm just, in French or in another language, whatever, and you can prepare the same, but it's, I mean, like your own voice, but in another language. Now, with the help of AI and some very good tools, you can have that, but that has to be like supervised by a professional linguist who can help you adapt your content to that audience with your own attitude, your own spirit, like the Outliers Edge of Niyama, yes, and not a different one, but in
Mhm.
another language and for another culture, because it will not be the people in the US, it will be the people in Africa or in Asia or in Australia, I don't know, in other part of the world. And that can also be done. But it's easier nowadays with all these AI tools, but the professional expert still is still needed, to have like a perfect product as the one that you have, your original one in English and with you. And so it can be done. So I think it's the sky's the limit because you can like replicate your own in others.
There's so there's. Do you mind if I reflect a few things back as I'm through my experience with you right here? Um, so what are the two things? One is related to how you continue. Like, I can imagine partnering with you being a fun and expansive experience from the standpoint of like we brought an AI into the conversation, and like I hear just how if not how comfortable, if not eager you are to leverage AI as a tool to help augment and make more things possible in like a shorter, easier period of time, and essentially uplift the role you take or as a professional to make sure that like okay, now we got to look at like a larger scheme of things rather than just the actual what word is being used here. There's a bigger picture to it all. So I'm just seeing just the ease of that of both the adoption but also like the creativity that comes. Like I feel like you're just like, oh, now I got to play up here. Before I had to, before I was playing down here, and that was enough. But now I have a tool that can help us do that. We can get that part done. Now we can get even higher returns. Now we can take things to higher levels on that. Does that feel like a fair way of expressing it?
Sure, that's perfect. That's the
Yeah,
way it
yeah.
is. Mhm.
Outliers, I'm going to invite you to like to take this for yourself right now and think about like in what places are you looking at, like where are you seeing the opportunities to partner with and to uplift like the level of thinking that you get to bring, or the level of impact that you get to bring, or the level of leadership that you get to take on now as a result of some of the things that you used to have to do, just being handled or being available to be handled. There's something really expansive in that, Dolores, where I'm like, oh yeah, no, there's opportunity everywhere. Like let's keep leaning into that.
Yeah.
So that's one. And then there was another part here where I felt that you really you're really great at just like joining in and like, so I'll express it from this place. As you were talking, I felt understood. You weren't really trying to like, you were talking like around like about, but like there was a level here where as you were talking, I was like, oh, there's something about Dolores and what like in the way that you do things. Maybe it's why you do the work you do, but there's something that like that you spend the time to understand the nuance or the actual heart slash core of what's being said. And it's not about like the simplicity of it. Like sometimes people are like, I just want to like, we just got to make this message really simple, right? So that anyone can understand. I don't think
Mhm.
that's what you like. I didn't really get that from you. I didn't feel like, because oftentimes when I feel that when someone's trying to make it simple, it feels like they've kind of diluted it or they've dumbed it down. They've taken out like the heart of what I wanted and instead installed like an engine, right?
Mm.
But that's not what I got with you. Like the heart is an engine; it pumps the whole body. You're able to keep the heart of it all. And as I was talking to you, I was like, oh, Dolores would get the nuance. She would be able to see like this is what we're trying to accomplish overall, and then translate that into like the market or the environment that we're going into. So just want to make sure that like as we're going on, I'm just getting different like bits of like how you show up in the world, and I don't want to hold that back. I don't want to hold that back, but I can see. I think that there's an element on the outliers side of things that goes and says most people, which we'll just call the average right now. The average person might go about doing this. The average professional in this in your field might go about looking at it this way. The average person that says, I might just use AI to do it on my own, they might see it as this. But I'm seeing some of the things that you do that feel really distinct, that feel like, okay, like you're not going to have the average experience. It's going to be something more. So that's going to come back in there. So I want to make sure that as we're talking, I'm sharing those insights along the way. I don't know if I'm right, but I am gonna share it. You can let me know if you're like, no, Niama, that's not what we're doing here at all. But I felt that. How does that feel to you? How true does that feel to you? How does that feel?
It's you understood perfectly well, and that's the way I feel now. I am now, and most what I see that perhaps most of my colleagues or people from my environment, well, me myself, of course, I cannot deny it. We are kind of fearful or panicked because all these changes that are happening. But we need to, in order to be creative and to keep on producing and creating the content that we like and that we think it's useful for the world, we cannot be fearful. You have to be, as you said, fully present and fully conscious of what you are doing. So I think let it go and let it flow, your own creations, and don't fear, because every I think all of in our history, fearful things happened and difficult times passed, and our ancestors used to, had to face that. And so we are in this part of the world and in this era, and we need to face the music.
I I I love it. I had to go share this out with outliers. It's like let it go and let it flow. That
Mhm.
right there, let it go and let it flow. If like outliers, like if you took that on for the rest of this week, if you just like decided like you know what, the things that are coming on, the problems I'm having, all that, I'm just gonna let it go and I'm gonna let it flow, or the way that it should be. You know, if you were able to drop that
Yeah.
and just let it flow with the way that you are, what like imagine what your week would look like, And then my ask is that you go out and live that week and then come and tell us. Come and let us know. You can let us know in the comments here. We have the Outliers Edge community, which is on school.com/outlier. Like it's a free community. We can just keep building and we can keep building and growing and transforming all together. So this has been something here where I'm just like, I'm gonna be playing with this phrase for the rest of this week. Let it go and let it flow. There's just there's just something about that just works.
We need to repeat it because sometimes we forget about it. So it's like a muscle. You need to keep on practicing like every day.
Oh
Repeat.
yes. Oh yes, like like that's it. I'm like this is catchy. I remember. I immediately like put it out into the comments. I'm like, let it go, let it flow. But then as I say it, I feel it. Like I like there's this element of like, oh, you don't have to flow, just let it flow. There's almost like a you can not surrender, but you don't have to strive. You don't have to work so hard at it, you know? And like that's a like throughout this conversation, you're just giving gifts throughout, Dolores. And I really see you in that. I appreciate you in this. And I love that you take your work and you've achieved such levels of mastery that you've got that like there you're able to lift the value very deliberately, you know, very, very deliberately and consistently. I think we're at a good place for us to start wrapping the conversation. And what I want to do with that here is the way we end our conversations is in two levels, or with two questions. One, I'd love for you to share with outliers how they can go deeper down the journey with you. If they wanted to go more into your world, if they're like, look, I want to get into different markets. I want to translate my work that I've been doing. I want to transform this into something that's larger that would reach people on a global scale. What is the best way for them to go deeper down that journey with you?
Sure. Well, you can give them all my social media handles. I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. I have
Mhm.
an Instagram account as well, or via email. You can ask me or comment or whatever, I don't know, thought or idea that you have into other languages, and we can make it work. I mean, just think about how you can, broaden, enlarge your own community and make your message go or fly higher.
I love this. Yeah, so outliers, you'll see that on like the show notes and everything. But for some of us, like we're just we're listening as it goes on. So like, we're like, if what's your handle on LinkedIn? What's the best way for us? Like, if we were just listening, we're like, we just want to come
Yes,
in.
it's my own name, Dolores Rojo Guinazú, or at Lift Value
Okay. All
on
right. Cool.
Instagram and LinkedIn.
All right, cool. So outliers, like let's keep this conversation going. We'll keep playing. Dolores, you've been invited to come join us inside of the Outliers Ed School group as well. So for anyone that's in there, if Dolores is in there, maybe we can also continue the conversation there as well. We're gonna what we're gonna do here. Yeah, we're gonna end this conversation and I'm going to do it by asking you about an insight that you had from this conversation. So up until like here, we've been sharing between us and sharing for outliers. But I like to say like the whole reason of us having the conversation is for everyone's life to improve. And so you've been really gracious and working to improve the lives of outliers. And I just want to give you a chance here to share what is a takeaway or an insight that you got from being a part of this experience that you're going to leave this conversation with. And if nothing came, don't force it. That would be the worst. But if there's an insight that you'd like to share as a result of being here, we'd love to hear it. We'll use that to wrap for today.
Well, I love being here. I love all the questions that you made, all the games that you made me play. It
Mhm.
was very thoughtful of you, and you also inspired me a lot to keep on believing in ourselves, in our own uniqueness, and like igniting that spark that sometimes we tend to forget, and we all have. So thanks, Niyama, for enlightening us. Not only me, I am sure, but all of us who listen to or watch your own spaces. So thanks so much. It's
Mhm.
been very not only helpful but also insightful for me as a human being, as a professional, and for my own actual, like nowadays, path, my career
Yeah.
path. Thanks so much.
Oh, most certainly. And we're just beginning, right? There's always this the thing that's fun about outliers. There's always higher levels, more ways to go. So, Dolores, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for bringing all of you. Thank you for not holding back and for showing us what it looks like to level yourself up and to play a game where your value continues to be lifted. Outliers, until the next time we talk, be you on